For the past few weeks, nuts have been driving me nuts. I mean, I've had so many problems with them. I've dropped them. I lost them. I found some of them, but not others. I bought a handful of them here. They're the right size, but they don't work. Go figure. So, I can't help but wonder if this week is going to be any different. Or am I going to be a total nutcase? I guess you'll have to stick around and find out. Here on the MT and Me. Hello once again, my nomies. Thanks for being here on the MT and Me. Those of you who've been watching for the last few weeks know that we're still working on Pearl's left rear wheel, the one that was locked up initially when we got her several years ago. Turned out that was from a twisted brake drum. So we took the whole assembly apart and got the brake drum out of there, and I went ahead and just tore everything out of the wheel and put the drum back on so that we could roll her around and put her where I wanted her to be to work on her. So, all right, long story short, she sat there for a couple of years with just that drum and no brake, and so now we've come around to the point that it's time to put the guts back in. Well, I got everything I need to put it back together. It's just a question of, well, getting it back together. Something, frankly, I've never done before. I've pointed out many times, I'm really good at taking stuff apart. I've got lots of experience at tearing things up. Reassembling them, well, that can be a different story sometimes. So, anyway. Last week, I thought I had a major breakthrough because I had found this. Oh, yes. Finally found a nut to fit on the bolt that mounts the parking brake lever. This is the nut that I dropped 3 weeks ago, maybe? I don't know. It's been a while. 3 programs ago. It hasn't really been that long. But anyway, I dropped the bolt and I lost it. Okay, so I can't find it. So I've been looking for a replacement, and I thought I had it right here because this fits. This goes on the bolt perfectly. But there's a problem. It doesn't work in this particular application because these threads are too deep inside the bolt. This is a locking nut, so it's designed to go on and lock down in place. Well, I don't have enough bolt sticking out for the threads to engage, so it's not going to work. All right, and we're back to square one. So, time to go back to the trusty service manual here. The 1977 everything Dodge van, Class C, motorhome, chassis, Plymouth, Voyager service manual. It's all in here. Everything I need to know about Pearl, including the brakes. That's this wonderful diagram. And if you look right up here in the corner, you see the nut that I lost. It's called an anchor bolt nut because this, where is it? Down here is the anchor bolt, which I find to be a real interesting name for something you find in a brake assembly. But the idea is it anchors the parking brake assembly in place. It also holds, what do they call it? The cam plate, which is a small plate in the top that the brake shoes actually lock into. So it's an important bolt, in other words. It's got a very strong function. And it's called an anchor pin. and the bolt that holds it in place is called an anchor bolt. Okay, so, looking at that diagram, you can kind of see how all this fits together. I know looking at a blow-up, the parts are not exactly where, they're located, but use your imagination. It all fits together. And you can also see that the anchor bolt, in addition to holding the cam plate, also holds the automatic adjuster cable in position, the bolt, a washer, a spring, and a bushing that holds everything in place. Okay, all that is right here. It's right here. There's the bolt. Washer and spring are right there. Here's the adjustment lever. This is the cam plate, and it's all mounted on a bushing that goes over the bolt. I've got everything right here except the anchor nut. That's the problem. And by the time you put this in place and put it through the hole on the backing plate to the brake, you have maybe about that much of the nut sticking out. I mean, just a quarter inch. Just enough to get a hex nut on, but not a deep thread hex nut like that silver one I had last week. So I'm back to square one, trying to find the nut that fits this. Well, I have said many times while working on Pearl that I'm not a mechanic, and I'm not. But I was thinking the other night, I might be getting there, because I'm picking up a lot of knowledge and experience along the way working on this old girl. Not just on brakes and motors, but on everything about her. I'm the kind of guy that whenever I'm trying to fix something, I research the heck out of it, so that I try to find out everything I can to know about it. Look it up online, read about applications, watch YouTube videos, go to forums where other people may be talking about similar problems that they've had and how they solved them. Just everything. And all that comes together to form a knowledge base, so that if for some insane reason I ever decide to rebuild an RV again, I will have a much more firm idea of what I'm doing. Well, that ain't gonna happen. But anyway, one of these days I may have to say, instead of I'm not a mechanic, I may have to change it to, well, I'm sort of a mechanic. I don't have those years of experience, but I did stay on a Holiday Inn Express. You get the idea. Anyway, I decided to take a different approach to finding the nut that I need. I said, well, this is a brake assembly, and it's on a Dodge van, and most of my searches have been for, Dodge B300, one-ton van, RV, dually chassis, 60, 70, Dana rear, and, just any kind of catchphrase you can put in there to be specific about it. But I got to thinking, I said, well, what about the brakes? So, let me set this down for a minute and come back to my book. Okay, here we are. In the section of the brake, it plainly says right up here at the top, it's a Bendix BX Duo Servo brake. Well, let's search for that. That's interesting. The Bendix, I'm reading right out of the book here. The Bendix BX Duo Servo is a basic duo servo single anchor brake of an advanced and improved design. The rear brake assemblies include a parking brake lever and cam plate. See Figure 1. And they are self-adjusting. Okay, that's the first paragraph. Well, that tells me right there, this is made by Bendix, a company that's been making brakes for over 100 years. For everything. They make brakes for cars and trucks and vans and bicycles and who knows what else. And they're still in business. They're still with us. So I go, let's look this up. So I do a little searching for Bendix BX Duo Serve. And it opened an entire new world for me. First thing I found was spare parts, including this. It's a replacement kit for the entire anchor bolt system. You see it right there. It's got the bolt, it's got the spring, and it's got the washer, and it's got the anchor bushing, and it has the anchor nut. You can get the whole replacement package for about 50 bucks. But you know, whenever you look at things online and you are scrolling down on the page and it gives you the details and the reviews and all the stuff, and then you get to the bottom and it says, you know, people interested in this also looked at these, and it gives you other links to go to. And one of those links at the bottom of the page went to this. It's the anchor bolt, all by its lonesome self. Holy cow. I can buy the anchor bolt. I can order it. And I know it's the one because this is the bloomin' brake system that I've got. I know it'll fit. Wow. So I start cross-referencing it a little bit, and I discover several different companies make these anchor bolts. Among them is Dorman. Dorman is a company that some of you may be familiar with. In fact, I've used some Dorman products on Pearl and also on my Equinox. Dorman makes high-quality aftermarket parts for cars and trucks, of all kinds of stuff, not just brakes and engine and mechanical, but it's all kinds of parts and accessories, and it's good quality stuff, and it's based on the original parts, so that you know it's going to work. Dorman offers a package of these nuts that I can easily order, so of course I have. They'll be here tomorrow. And we'll see if they work. Stick around. And just like I promised Nomies, we're back. That's right. And I have the box. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It is here. We're about to tear into it. And the first thing you might notice is that this seems like an awfully big box for a package of 4 or 5 quarter-inch nuts. And granted, it is. But I also ordered something else. Yes, I ordered a bunch of foam-filled plastic air. Yeah. Now that's just a bonus. First of all, here are the precious anchor nuts. And we're going to find out if they fit in just a second. A 1/4 inch by 28 thread, fine thread hex nuts, okay? But I ordered something else, and that is this huge socket. And you're going, what the heck is that? Do you remember when I was taking this entire hub assembly apart? And we got down to, we had removed the axle, the floating axle, and you had a couple of nuts in there that actually hold the bearing in place. Turning the entire assembly. Because I can barely grab the nut. They actually make a wrench for this nut. Perhaps I should invest in one. Well, here it is. The socket that fits. I just randomly ran across this thing while I was searching for these. I guess because it's kind of a related part, you know. And this is specially designed. It's a very thin wall socket so that it will fit inside that hub and work. And I'm assuming it'll do this. We'll find out when the time comes a little later on. But that's something for a future project. For now, what we're interested in are these. I have to tear the package up to get one of these out. But it did. And there we are. And you're thinking, well, it looks like the same thing, different color. The big question here is it the right nut? And the answer is yes, it is. Perfect fit. Ha ha ha. Will it fit the socket I had? I don't really know what size I was using. That would be a yes as well. Okay. I think we're ready to see if we can get this little baby back on there. And we're going to have to hurry because I don't know if you can tell, but it's very cloudy. We have some heavy rain that is threatening to move in immediately. I mean, within the next half hour or so. So if I'm going to try to get this thing back on, now's the time. Okay, I'm going to see if I can access this from this side. Let's get our bolt back in place. Goes right there. It'll actually sit more like that when it's in position. Now, will I be able to get this on there? Oh my goodness, it's on. It is on there. Oh, all I need to do is get that little piece of tape out. Remember, that was my spacer. Get that off and tighten it up just a little bit. Right like that. Would you look at there? Now this is a prime example of how having the right things to work with make a job quick and simple. I want you to stop and think for a moment about the past 1, 2, 3 programs here on the MT and Me. I've been trying to get this brake arm back on. That's really been the goal of each program. And of course I've had complications. I kept dropping things. I dropped nuts. I lost nuts. I went and bought the wrong nuts. They fit, but they didn't work. So then I had to keep looking, and then I found the right ones. Finally, the right one is on there now. And it makes all the difference in the world. Wow. I, at this very moment, am a happy camper. Simply because I have my parking brake lever back on Pearl. And I feel it's starting to rain, so I'm literally going to have to stop here. I would love to get the parking brake cable hooked back up to it, It goes down here. It'll hold it in place. But I'm just not going to have the chance to do that right now without getting very wet. So as I feel the raindrops starting to come down, I am going to move to the porch to get out of this and have some closing comments for you. Hang on. All right. So, now that I'm out of the rain, I can tell you once again how pleased I am that this worked out. And I'm just amazed that once I got the right nut, it went right on there, fit right in, tightened right down, and my brake arm is back in place. It's like I said earlier, I learned so many things working on Pearl. And one of the big lessons that I've learned over and over again is get the right stuff, have the right tools, have the right parts, and you can get the job done. So, next time around, we'll come back to our brake. We'll get the park and brake connection hooked back up, which hopefully that'll go without any glitches. And then we can focus on getting those new shoes and springs back in. And finally get Pearl's rear brake repaired after all this time. Exciting times are ahead, boys and girls. Stay with me. Nomies, thank you. Thank you for watching, for putting up with me for the last few weeks, trying to fumble my way through this little bitty repair so that we can get down to the real major repair. And that's what we're going to do next time around. If you're a subscriber, thank you. If you're not, I don't know why. One click below can do it. So click it and click the thumbs up while you're at it as well. That helps YouTube notice us. And that's a good thing when you're on YouTube. Anyway, we'll be out here on YouTube next week, next time around. Same time, same bat channel. Be sure and join me. Till then, I'm Russ. Thank you, Nomies. I love you. We will talk